Today we're going to be talking about why I got banned 2 times on Outschool. Let's get into it. Let's start with the first time I got banned. So if you watched my previous video, you would know that I started on Outschool back in 2020, back when there were so many kids online during the pandemic looking for online classes. At the time, I started off with a few escape room classes because those were just really not on the platform, and I wanted to offer something new to kids. Those classes took off. I started with a few classes a day, I went to 10 classes a day, and then I went even to about 16, if not 20 classes a day, back to back from the very early morning all the way until the nighttime. I wasn't eating that much, I wasn't sleeping that much, but I was making bank, so it was all fine. There came a point where I started getting messages from the Outschool staff telling me that I was not responding to parent emails fast enough. That was tough for me because I tried to explain to them, hey, I'm teaching hundreds of students a day. I am one person. It's really hard for me to both teach and respond to parent emails. But I told them I would do my best. And I really did do my best. I was multitasking like a crazy person. And when I finished my teaching day in the late evening, I would stay up for another few hours just responding to messages. But I couldn't get to messages in real time because I was so busy teaching the classes throughout the day. They also started telling me that I was logging into classes late. And this was also because of the frequency of how many classes I was teaching. I was logging into the classes exactly at the start time, but for certain classes, that seemed like it was late for the Outschool staff. So they were not happy with that either. But again, I was teaching hundreds of students a day and about 16 to 20 classes a day, and I'm not even running on coffee or anything. I don't drink coffee. I really should have, but I wasn't at the time. So I don't know how I had the energy to do it, but I did it. And I tried to explain that to them, like, no other teacher is doing this. Like, I'm going crazy and I'm teaching so many students and I have a lot of great reviews. So why are you guys doing this to me? Why are you telling me all these problems? I was teaching so many kids and I was trying to explain that to them, but they still came back to me and said, hey, you need to fix these problems. And I even got on a Zoom with one of the Outschool staff where they explained to me, different strategies as to how I might go about being better at responding to parent emails and being better at getting to classes on time. By the time I actually implemented the things that they suggested, it was too late. First, I got an assistant to help me answer parent emails. It was really hard to get an assistant because I was very stubborn at the time. I thought, I'm doing great, I'm running my own business, I don't really want to pay anybody when I could be collecting all the profits. And now that I look back, that was not the right mentality to have. Absolutely not. You need to delegate tasks so that you can grow. So when I actually did get an assistant to help me respond to messages, it was already too late. It was already so close to the time that they were going to ban me that it didn't really help anything. The tip that they gave me as to not be late for classes was to start spreading out the start times of my classes, and that was a fabulous idea. But then again, I needed to have so many classes because there was so much demand. I had full classes, all my classes were full, and I had dozens of parents messaging me every hour asking for more spaces. I think they just didn't understand the scale of what I was doing, because when somebody has 10 messages in their inbox and then they don't respond to one of them, it's okay. If somebody has 1,000 messages in their inbox and they don't respond to 100 of them, suddenly that's a huge deal. In a sense, it's still 10% of the messages. So yeah. How did I get back onto Outschool after I got banned? I had introduced Outschool to a few friends, and I also introduced it to my partner, who got onto the platform and started teaching on his own. At that point, he also created an organization, and his organization was doing awesome. So I thought, hey, why don't you just hire me as a teacher with your organization? And he did, and Outschool allowed that. So I was teaching with his organization on there. We were doing well. We were teaching the same type of classes, escape room classes, and something else happened that got me banned for a second time. The pandemic was dying down and I saw that enrollments were getting a little bit lower. I was still making a really good amount with his organization, but it wasn't the amount that I was used to making. So I was trying to figure out how can I improve the classes to get more interest. So I started going onto platforms like Upwork, where you can hire people. And I put out an ad saying, if anybody has any kids between these age ranges that might be interested in this type of class, I would love for you to take this class, and I will pay you to take the class, as long as you tell me afterwards what your kid thought of the class and what I can do to make it better. I was literally paying people to take my class, kind of from a market research perspective. Before I started on Outschool, I actually worked in market research. So that was something that was so fascinating to me. And the goal was not to pay for good reviews. I didn't really care much about that because I had already had so many reviews on these classes and there were already so many great ones. I didn't need to pay for more great ones. What I did need to know is if anybody had any other ideas as to how to make the classes better. And I got some great feedback from these people that I was hiring to bring their kids onto the platform. But Outschool saw it in a different light. They thought that I was paying for good reviews. They're like, goodbye, you violated our terms of service. You cannot be paying people to take your classes. So that's how I got banned a second time. If you want to learn how to not be reliant on these platforms just in case they decide they want to kick you off, then check out my next video to learn how to grow your own online teaching business outside of these platforms and make $1 million a year.